Hello guys, welcome to Filament Daily. Today I want to read the docs for you. Well, not the full docs of Filament, but have you ever read the advanced page of Table Builder, for example? In this video I want to show you 3 random pieces from that page. Some of those things you may not know, so some may be new for you, but with the message that you should read the full page from time to time, especially the advanced section, which is rarely visited because most people focus on the main documentation. So what is that advanced in the table? What can we do with a typical table in the customer resource, for example? And I will show you 3 things. First, simple pagination. So as you can see in the bottom right corner, we have 100 pages of customers. But Laravel allows not only this pagination, but also so-called simple pagination with just previous and next, which is a bit faster because then it doesn't care about the total amount of pages. It's a very small performance improvement in most cases, so it's more like personal preference whether to use simple pagination. But let's see how to enable that in Filament. This is the part of the docs. Using simple pagination, for that you need to override the paginate table query in the list page of the Filament resource. So not in the customer resource itself, but in here, customer resource pages list customers. So you need to override this method. I will uncomment that. Probably the better readability would be this. And what would be the visual result? We refresh the page and we have next here. Instead of page numbers, we click next and then previous button appears on the left. So we can click around back and forth without any page numbers. Okay, let's get back to normal pagination refresh and 2 more things to show. The thing number 2 is record URLs, clickable rows. And I want to show you one thing that you can override here. So by default, any table row is clickable. So when you click here, you land on edit page. To be honest, I'm not even sure why it is in the docs because it seems that this behavior is by default. Maybe it comes from earlier version, but from what I see in the table, general table of Filament, we go to the component of table and it has record URL, which is, as I understand, enabled by default. Maybe I'm wrong here, please correct me in the comments then. But what you may not know is that you can override the new tab behavior. So in the table you can do something like this. Add open record URL in new tab. And now if we refresh the table, we click and we have new tab opened in the browser. Kind of a small thing, but this is one example of why it's beneficial to read or reread the docs sometimes, because you often find such small gems and you never know where you may actually use them in the future. At least you would know that this is possible. And then the third thing I wanted to show you is polling table content, which is basically automatically refreshing the table every 10 seconds or every time period that you specify. And it comes from Livewire wire poll, and you can define it in the table as simple as this. Of course, keep in mind that it's doing query every time, so use that feature only when you really actually need it. So now if we do poll, for example, 1 second for the demonstration of this video. Now let's refresh the table. Let's sort the ID by descending, so 1000. And now let's add a new record from table plus, so elsewhere, not in the table. Duplicate, it's here at the bottom, and I will save, enter, save, and see what happens on the screen. I didn't even click on the browser, so it's not an active window. The active window on my Mac is Table Plus, but it's still refreshed in the background every second. Let's try to duplicate some other record. Again, refreshes with new ID and new line. So those are on top, and if we, for example, delete them, save, and again the table is refreshed every second. Again, keep in mind, if we take a look at Browser Console, Network tab, it keeps refreshing every second, so use that with caution. So yeah, just 3 random things from Advanced Table Builder documentation page with a message that you should read the docs more often. Any other gems about the table that you found recently in the docs? Share your discoveries in the comments below. That's it for this time, and see you guys in other videos.